Okay, so let's welcome ourselves in the comment section. A big welcome, L Tech Pivot. I believe that is Tolu Lopesanya. Welcome from Canada. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, Adebayo. My husband is on this call. Is that not pressure? Maybe after this session, they'll give me my scorecard.
Good pressure, good pressure, good pressure.
As a caveat, this is my first time. So they're permitted to, well, yeah, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Who else is here? Precious from Ibadan. Thank you, Dunsin, Uluwadara Simi, and Omo Bolale. Yes, a big welcome once again to everyone. So this evening, I've got here with me my first mentor in the tech industry. She's Oremeyi, a powerhouse. But before I read her bio, I want to share, like more of a personal story and why even after 10 years, I'm still very much connected with Oremeyi, following her, checking everything it is that she's doing. And so some of you may already read online. I joined Interswitch 2015, August to be precise. By the way, yesterday I was holding my offer letter for Oremeyi. I was I was going through my Interswitch offer letter. I'm like, oh my god, 10 years. Like,
No,
10 years. Like, how? And I imagine how you feel.
I know.
Absolutely. So, during onboarding, Oremeyi came and then she was talking with so much passion, like she was the owner of the business. Like, you could feel intensity, like, okay, yeah, this person believes in this business. And it was so electrifying. And ever since then, like, I kept on saying to myself, like, this is like my persona, this is my prototype, this is somebody that I want to become. And then not Oremeyi. I remember Oremeyi during some of those meetings. I think was it building for upstairs? No, boots. Like it was really nice seeing a leader, a woman controlling that number of people. So it always feel like, wow, this is really amazing because you don't really see many women have this kind of control and most importantly, people listen to you. The influence you yield today. And then not only Oremeyi gifted me a dress. Hey God.
Oh my God,
Oremeyi gifted me a dress. Like, and I remember that one evening I wore the dress to dinner with my husband. I think my husband had a program in his office. So as in, so how am I saying all of this, right? Like the reason why Toby Otokiti is who I am today, again, I can attribute to the attributes that I saw in Oremeyi, being very kind, being the influential leader, and just how you kept on holding space and just taking charge of things. And so everyone, please, I want you to please help me welcome Oremeyi to our session today. And she's not just a career tech leader, she also loves Jesus, and that for me is also very special. She's never afraid. If you go to her LinkedIn right now, you see Jesus follower. Yeah. So see such boldness and courage. And I'm like, wow, like this person is just so different. This person is just so different. So a big welcome to you, Oremeyi. Thank you so much. And when I told Oremeyi about this virtual launch and I feel like I listened to your voice note like 15 times.
Oh my God.
Like, so we will have to make you work. We have to make you work. I'm like, oh, I felt so honored. Like, I am so grateful. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. This is my first virtual launch, and we made history together because firsts are always very special, and be having this first moment with you. Okay, so Oremeyi, I know I've said a lot. I don't know. Do you want to say something? Like
I'm really happy to be here. And like you mentioned, I mean, I don't know if you remember when you were leaving Interswitch, and I said, why are you leaving? You said it's not like you're not happy, but you just feel there's more out there. And you said, I want to do product management and do it well, And for me, that was so profound, because is this someone saying, I know, I mean, yeah, I could stay, but I have a reason. I'm not just moving because I'm not happy or moving because of money. I have a clear roadmap. So when I saw ProductDive and I saw the other things you're doing, I just said, she indeed achieved. So well done. And I mean, I don't mean to sound cliche, but it's inspiring to see people that rise up and push and redefine and the odds, and just create things that were not there before, create things that didn't exist. So well done. And I'm so happy to be a part of your story. I'm very glad to be a part of your story.
Thank you so much. I know the funny thing, like, it's not that you're saying it, like the things that I said, I'm like, even me myself did not remember. Like, so, like, your heart is so large to even contain these things. And I can imagine people that have passed through you, and I'm sure that you will still remember all of those things it is that they've said. Like, Oremeyi, how do you do it? Like, this is so special. Like, wow. Let me control myself so that I don't cry on this call today. Guys, so you can see, guys, that we brought a gem to So very quickly, we've only just got 45 minutes on this call, and we've spent 12 minutes already. And so why are we gathered today? I know that part of the thing I've been communicating is, how to think of growth in 2026. And most importantly, what are how should you think about it? Like, what tools can also help you grow in 2026? One of those tools that would help you grow in 2026, an announcement to be made towards the end of today's session. But just before we get right into it, Oremeyi, I think I'll just go straight to the questions. You are Chief Customer Officer at Interswitch, and I know that at the time I was at Interswitch, you were also deeply involved in like the product, what customers are saying, and the banks have said this today, and So do you want to please share with us like what your role looks like and how that ties into product management? And why am I saying this? The core of product management is the customer, building for customers. Yes. So how does your role tie into that product management core? Yeah.
Thank you so much. And yeah, it's great to be here. So and I love that we are having this conversation first of all about product management, because product management, there's no single, it's not a single lane highway. People get in from different people. Sometimes are developers, they pivot to become product managers. Some are engineers, some have background in design, some have background in customer experience. So that diversity is one of the biggest strengths of product management. And like you said, at the end of the day, it's about the product, and the product is the center reason why a business exists. It should be, those are businesses lose focus and all, but a business that really knows where it's going and wants to stay. And even if you look at businesses that have stayed 100 years, 50 years, that won in spite of the ups and downs of the business world, there are businesses that focus on their product. So as the Chief Customer Experience Officer, my role sits at a very important intersection, because the voice of the customer and the direction of the business, being able to link it together, is the real oxygen for product management, and being able to communicate that or bring it forth. So my role gives me access to see a lot of things, but then I have to say, hey, it's not enough to just see these things and you can't just command. You have to bring it into the context of the people so that it becomes such a critical ingredient and input to product management. The most successful products we built at Interswitch are deeply grounded in customer insight, not just what people saying, but how they behave, where they struggle, what they value. And some of these products may not be physical products, but I remember there was a platform we're trying to build at a time for our customers. And of course, we had the design, we felt we knew what we were doing. But then my team, customer experience team, had already introduced a process where we have to sit with whoever the intended user is and just perform an ethnographic study, just look at how they run their day. And that was, so we went to the product managers, with the engineers, with some people, the people in the UX design team. And it was an eye-opener, right? And we say, wow, thank God we didn't go this way. Wow, so you mean that's how they use it? Wow, so you mean this is what they do? So that was a very deep truth moment for us. That being able to know truth is not enough. Being able to bring that truth into the context of the product managers, of the engineers. Again, the product management role is so important because you are the driver of a massive ship. On that ship, you have engineers. You have the technology guys. You have the guys that dealing the DevOps. You have your marketing team. Everybody knows in code what they want to do. But if that ship that is not sailing in the right with the right coordinates, you guys are going to miss your way. And who is the person to say these are the coordinates? It's really the product manager. But a lot of times the marketing people know everybody knows their own stuff. So that's why the role of product manager is so sacred, it's so important. And me as chief customer officer, my work every day is to say, how can I bring those truths into the reality of the product team, of whoever else, so that we can form that perfect harmony. I think of it almost like an orchestra. Everybody can play an instrument, but what makes that orchestra super is that we are playing in harmony. We are playing together. So no matter how skilled we all are, we can have 10 Beethovens in the orchestra, but if everybody is doing their own thing, it's chaos. The product manager, very important to bring that orchestra together. And I see myself as a chief customer officer, as that person, and giving that product manager the fuel, the right clarity, so they can direct the orchestra. I hope that helps. I hope that's.
Oh wow, that was so profound. Have you guys heard? They are orchestras, product managers,
orchestra conductors.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. So I think there's something that I think 3 years into my career was something that I just sometimes to think about a lot, which is the executives that are at the top. How do they assess product managers? Because these are decision makers, and we are very lucky to have you here today because you've been an executive for as the longest that I can think, and and one of those people that I know that make decisions at Interswitch. So, like, what qualities do you see in a product manager that makes you say that this person, we can promote this person, this person is doing a great work, and this person deserves this position? Because, and even more so for women, again, we don't have many women in the leadership level, and I'm just scrolling through this chat and I'm seeing that we have mostly women here. So, like, what advice do you have for product managers, and even maybe specifically men? Of course the men are also here, but like in terms of the attributes that you've seen, or the great qualities that you've seen in product managers, and makes you say, oh, this person fits this leadership role, or let's push this person up based on this attribute it is that we are seeing.
All right. I would say the first one is being able to tie what you are doing, that product. You cannot look at your product from the inside out. You have to look from the outside in. And when I say outside in, I'm talking of in the business. You have to tie your product to the future of that business. You have to speak the language that the business understands. So it's not enough to say, I have a great product that's going to make people, I'm going to get 50 users. I'm going to get, the product is going to get amazing adoption. Fantastic. The business has a direction. The business probably has a vision and says, we want to be the top healthcare company in Africa by 2050. So you that is the product manager, you must say, hey, this is the vision, to be the top healthcare company by 2050. To get there, these are the top trends in our healthcare business. These are the things that as a company we must do to get to become the best of the leading one. Financially, these are our financial goals. We want to maybe hit 1 billion, we want to become a unicorn. These are the things we need to do, that we must do from a business case. Then you now say, now linking it to the product. This product, if we position it like doors and doors, it therefore must be able to appeal to these kind of customers. It must have this kind of, accessibility. It must have this kind of features. It must have this kind of functionality, etc., etc. So what you are doing, you now tie those features, the functionality, the accessibility, the emotions that you want that product, to stimulate in the customer. You will tie it to the business goals. You will paint the big picture is always, listen, except an executive that I don't know why he's there. But any executive that genuinely cares about his business, the big picture will always catch their attention. Being able to show that big picture, show how this action of today is not just a product, but is a lever to land us. In Interswitch, we call those goals our landing zone. We say we want to get to the landing zone. The landing zone is XX valuation by this year and da da da. These are the things, if we do them, will get us closer to the landing zone. If you can tell that story every time, you will win. And I just want to say there was a product manager that had a major challenge. You know, the product clearly needed a lot of investment, needed more engineers. But every time she shows up, she's showing up with what is not working, complain. You know, it was just like every time, and she leaves the room, you know, she didn't get what she wanted. She was clearly frustrated. But there was a day we sat down and said, listen, you have to deliver yourself from this behavior. You have to show the big picture. Why should we give you 5 more engineers? What is it going to do? How is it going to position this product? How is it product going to contribute not to the bottom line, not just the numbers, but the reputation, the brand, vision, everything? You have to be able to show that. You have to be able to show how this product that you are driving, disbursement, for example, is critical for the company when we look at Africa in the next 10 years. So it's not just a now, this is a futuristic arsenal that we must develop today. You must tie your product into the future of the company and why it must start today. And well, hopefully she was able to put something together. She started getting more respect, if I can say, more attention, you know, and more positive responses from that perspective. So I would say being able to paint the big picture is very, 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 very critical. You know, don't do me. It's not about me, my product. No, it's ours. Why is it ours? Because it ties into the vision in that way. You know, that to me, I would say is very important. And I think a lot of product managers need to learn that. What else will I say? I'll say a few other things like fall in love, you know, with the problem, not with your solution, not with my product. You, as a product manager, you should be willing to say, listen, I know I'm the product manager for this product, but I believe we can step down on this product. And I want to divert my scheme or my efforts towards this because this is what will take us again to the landing zone. And I know that may be difficult because people come to work thinking I must defend my turf. But the moment, and again, I'm talking of a company that is reasonable and intelligent, because there's some companies that only God knows why they are there. But I'm talking of a company that is trustworthy. There's some companies that everybody is fighting for tough, you know, and of course, those companies don't go far. And I always say, please don't be there for too long. Go to places that really genuinely want to solve problems, want to create value. I remember I had a friend that worked in Flutterwave, and every time she talks of Flutterwave, I don't work in Flutterwave, but every time she talks of Flutterwave, it's always so positive. She always tells me how they genuinely want to do the right thing. They genuinely want to, and I'm always like, wow, blown away. And you know, so it's important to work for a company that wants to do the right thing when it comes to solving problems. So I'll say another thing that will get you respect at executive level is that you are ready to bring your skills forward for the company's benefit and not for the benefit of your personal empire, right? If your personal empire needs to be stepped down, but you're still available, they'll say, you know what? Folake is always available. She's ready to bring forward the best user experience mappings, the best design thinking principles, even when it's not her own personal gain, in quote, you know. And I that's very important. Another thing, a product manager, I would say, you know, influence is more important than authority. And you learn that as a parent. My first son is 19. As a parent, you know that thing called, when you're small, you say, sit down, eat your carrots, eat your efforiro. You must eat vegetable. You eat it. When they are 18, they will eat them. How will you do that? Sit down. Sit down where? How? It doesn't work. So at that point, it's influence. It's true now. You're laughing, Solomon. It's influence. At that point, you say, you know, if you are working hard, you work very hard, you are always, you know, you go to the gym, you need vegetables to build your muscle. What do you think? You know, so the person, I can like say, you know, you have to consider it. It's not every time, you know, so you just do that, the person will know. So influence. So now you, product manager, sir, you know how engineers like to oppress us. Engineers in the house, I wave to you. You know, you don't know the C#, you don't know the all those things, React and all, they know it. Or the DevOps people, you don't know, then you now call one program manager, maybe you're even cute and small like Toby. They'll say, what does she know? Who is she? Who born her? You know, this kind of thing. So you have to now develop influence. Aha. So influence is friendship. Influence is bringing, you come to their level. You say, guys, your coding is amazing. Your developing is awesome. But you have to be able to, again, show them the vision. So you don't own the code. You don't even own the operations, but you own alignment. You own the alignment. And that alignment cannot come without a vision. Show them why your product, that product is the product to support and build for. Show them why that product is solving a real problem for the customer and for the executives. Show them why that product is the one delivering XYZ for the company's portfolio. When you are able to always start your conversations from that perspective, you will be able to get that influence, from your engineers and And before you know it, they will start saying, why is Toby's team able to deliver the things in their pipeline faster, even when it's difficult? You see, they show up, they this because they are being, driven by vision. Simon Sinek said, start with why. And I'll say that product managers start with why. Very important. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Connecting your customer value to commercial value. Don't only think about, the UX must be beautiful, or this must be that. Why? How is that UX going to drive revenue? Because at the end of the day, let's not talk too much. It is about the money. If not, I always say, if we're out here, I say, I love it, I want to feel good. If at the end of the month, when they are paying you salary and they click, they say, feel good feeling. That's the alert you got. You just got feel good feeling. You didn't get money, just, I feel good. Oh my gosh. I doubt you'll be there the next month. So it's about the money, man. So you have to connect that product to the money. When there's loss, you own it. When there's a gap, you own it. When there's a code problem, you say it's my problem. Say it's engineers, I've been saying it. Those engineers, only God I will deliver them. In fact, they need deliverance. No, you say it's my code. If you go to the engineer and say, guys, this bug cost us 2 customers. Live customers dropped our product. This is the loss in revenue. This is the loss in potential revenue. Guys, we have to do better. But then you talk to them, you go back to the vision, you go back to why for them is critical. This is not easy, and that's why you find out now in the world where AI, now ChatGPT will help you do documentation. It will help you do your charts, but it cannot help you do human connection. So that is why you even have more time now for human connection, because that's what really, really gets you very far, very, very far. I will say a final thing that I think will make executives respect product managers is be data informed and not data blinded. Data, be ready. My boss always says, when the facts change, I change my mind. Data is very powerful. You remember?
I remember you changed your mind.
Now, data is very powerful, and people can misuse data. You can use it to your advantage. Even when it's telling you, you can make it tell a lie. So big data, you always come with new data, and always be ready to modify your approach when the data is saying something else. Don't be data blinded. Data blinded can be you don't have a clue, you don't even have data, or you're just guessing, or you have the data, but you want to believe a particular thing, and so you stick to say, no, this is how it must be, this is how things have changed, but you refuse to accept that things have changed because it may change your direction, it may change your team structure, it may change your target. You just insist, but being able to put the vision and the reality of the situation above your personal self, allowing data to really guide you, inform you, shows you are mature, shows that you can be trusted, shows that a portfolio can be handed over to you, and you're not going to, take that portfolio and, personalize it to a point where nobody else can touch it. No, it also shows, you can groom others. A product manager must be ready to lift others because only there'll be young engineers, there'll be young product managers, there'll be young UX designers, there'll be CX people coming with their surveys, CSAT, all those things, chasing you up and down. You must be able to, see yourself, no matter your level, being able to bring them together. So I'll say being data informed so you can modify your approach when the data shows that you should is important. Yeah. Thank you. I hope that's helped.
Oh, that deserves a round of applause. Everybody, please, let's all just unmute our mics. Please, all the celebrations. Thank you. This was a whole masterclass. Like, so if you need any templates, or if you can says, I'm looking for a framework to work with, everything she just downloaded for us. You would find it very helpful. And let me tell you why. Everything Oremeyi has said is correct. So this year we launched I'm currently VP of products at Rainers. And so at the start of the year, we decided to revamp the entire product experience in 6 months. And so just about 2 weeks ago, when we're doing like a retrospective of, like what the last 6 months had looked like and why we're actually able to revamp the app, we had a product launch and we had lots of people talking about the product experience on Twitter, X. And you know what they said? They said because they were very clear on the goal. And what that told me was that the product manager had done a really great job communicating to them our product goals and our product vision. Let me tell you one other thing it is that we did. You talked about fall in love with like the problem. Don't be too, this is the solution that we have to build. Should I tell you what we did at the start of the project? So I'd said, all my engineers, you would have to step into you would have to take up so what I'd done was that we had done like a collaboration with the customer support team, and we had said all engineers actually need to step into the customer support role. And so for 2 days I made sure my engineers were replying our customers. But before those, you need a 3 days training so that when you're replying a customer, you're not cooking beans, you're not telling them wrong information. So do you know why I did that? It's very hard for you to build products when you don't understand the customer's problem. It's very hard for you to empathize with your customers when you don't understand the problem. You would only just think that, it's sitting behind your system and writing the code. And then you have a product manager saying, no, I want it this way. I need you to be able to feel the pain. So that when you're writing the code, you're thinking of it from a customer's point of view. You're thinking of that customer that was cursing you via chat because of the code that you wrote that was buggy. So all of those things just sort of impacted like their psychology, So you saying all this, so it's not just even the product manager falling in love with the problem, but also helping your team see this is the problem. So that way, it's not a Toby or Tokiti that wants us to do it or design it this way. It is that they have a very deep understanding based on their interactions with the customer. So everything you said, Oremeyi, very, very valid. Thank you so much for sharing. So we've only got about 11 more minutes to go because we are looking at the time. And so one question I have for Oremeyi before we move on to the book launch is like, so when I look at your career, like everybody sees, the glory, let me put it that way, this is an executive leader, she's doing really well. But for me, I'm always very particular about like the how. Like, how did you build yourself to become this kind of person? How did you build yourself to have this remarkable career that is so inspiring, and every time it is that you post something maybe on LinkedIn or in fact your book that you launched, I'm like, Oremeyi, like you're just so full of wonders. Look, so my question is more around the how. What are like the processes, like that thing that you do that builds you up to be this kind of inspirational person?
Thank you. And I mean, for me, this is a very humbling question. And I'm not, again, trying to just pretend. It genuinely is. And it is, you've been in career for 23 years. I've been in career for 23 years. And so the question I hear from you, Toby, is you've been 23 years and people are inspired by your story. How come you have consistently stayed inspiring? Now, I believe, and I genuinely believe, that everybody is born different. But as we grow, we start to want to be what we are not. We start to copy. And the moment you start doing that, You can see my voice has come down because I really mean it. The moment you start doing that, you first of all, you disrespect your maker. And I believe my maker is God. And you can be okay, but you will never be a shiny you because you are not in your space. That is not your space in the sky. You have your own space. And why I'm saying that is my career, I always tell people, for me, has been a journey of genuineness. From the beginning, when I joined as a copper, you know, there was a time when my salary was very poor. And I think I talk about that in my book. I wasn't happy. I was always broke, always boring. My style was always involving me. And they say before the end of the month. So I broke. And one day, a friend of mine said, Oremeyi, come. You are living here. There's job in bank. There's job in there's job in this place. I think Accenture, then corn oil. And I was ready to go for the interview. But the long and short, I didn't end up going because I asked myself. There was that day I came home, there was one wahala in one of the banks, but we were able to put out the fire. And I was so happy and fulfilled. So I asked myself, what do you really enjoy? And I realized that I really enjoyed what I was doing. I really enjoyed solving those problems. I really enjoyed contributing in the way I was contributing. So I said, you know what, I'm going to stay. I'm staying not because of the salary, but because I really enjoy it. So why am I saying this? Being able to say what is important for you at every stage is very important. It's what keeps you as that light. You will shine effortlessly because you are in your own space. Because in that your space, there is no competition. Because it is yours. You were made for that. That is what has kept me up to my master's. I remember when I stepped into my MBA class in Cambridge. Cambridge had 40 countries represented. Different countries, China, America, the best of the best were in my class. The best of the best were in my class. So I remember when we did financial, what do you call it? Business finance. Yes. And that was the first time I was doing a finance course. When the result came out, I had 56. At least I passed. People had 97. There was a guy that I said, I had to meet him. This guy was a CEO. He was a CEO for a company in China. He had been wrong. So I just said, there's no way. I mean, let's be real. That we do financial, a finance course with this guy, and he won't, in quote, beat me. So I just realized that this is true now because the kind of people that in my class fire up and down the whole place. So, but something happened in my MBA experience. I wrote it in my book. There was a time they were calling for people to join a project for developing countries to solve real problems. I was the only resident African in my class. The others were Nigerians that jackpot before me, their parents were 4 other Nigerians. There were 2 Egyptians, but Egypt is not an underdeveloped country. So I said, who has better context than me? I showed up for that competition. I showed up, and we went through many phases, but eventually we won the global prize. We met with Bill Clinton in New York, all expenses paid. And people were asking, and I just like, what made me realize was, listen, that's when I entered that space. Also, people were asking me, so in your country, what are the challenges with access to water? I said, we have borehole. You say, okay, how does it work? Someone in America has never seen borehole. So there is Google, they will check. My own, I was telling you what happened. In fact, I was showing them picture from my village. I said, see, my village is where, this one is not copy-paste. And I sabi because it was my own space. People have gone to my MBA class and tried to be like the people from America, and I will never shine. So I'm just saying, find who are you? Who are you? There is value in you. Steward, Busola, Tolulope. And if you can just quieten the noise of Instagram, the pressure of LinkedIn. Everybody must not be a founder. Some people are founders, great. Some people are not. Everybody must not resign. Everybody must not drop out of school. But some people may, because that is their space. Find what works for you. When I say works for you, what really draws you? And God will help you find it. When you find it, take it into the context of where you currently are. You may still be in a bank that you may think is a rigid place, but in there, your genuineness will show. And now sometimes, I'll say this last statement, some companies don't always appreciate your genuineness. But if you are really genuine, it won't be long. your true offer will show up. Somebody will notice and say, wow, we have a project, we are setting up a company. I worked with Folake in this place. Reach out to Folake. She may want to join us. I always tell people, so I'm not saying leave where you are. While you are there, they may not appreciate you, but value doesn't hide. It may not be seen internal, but it will be seen eventually. So I'm just trying to respond, and for me, that's how I'm still inspiring. I remember when I was writing my book. Let me say that book. I was writing a book before on a building fintech for Africa. I was saying, to build a fintech. I was talking like founder. The book, nothing. Even when I read the first chapter, I was not inspired. Even me, I was discouraged. I said, the book was boring. So I now said, what is it I can write and nobody else can write? I said, my story now. There's nobody that can write my story now. Yeah. So immediately I just took the other manuscript. I wasted my 2 chapters stressing and this one, under 1 year, it was just flowing because it was me. The other one, I was doing research, going here, it was like very hard work because it was not real. It wasn't flowing. So that's it. All right, so guys, that's it.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. So what you said is being authentic. Find yourself, and you are the value. So find yourself, be you wherever it is that you are in, understanding your context, and then show that value it is that you've got inside of you. Yeah. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. So we'll do a quick segue into book because we've got just 3 more minutes, and I want to I'm keeping to time. Yeah. Yes, so some of you may already know I'm launching my first product management book. And we're going to be launching that on the 10th of December. Everybody, you could get your copy. You can get a physical copy on the 10th of December at Landmark Event Center. And why did I decide to write this book? The title of my book is Building Products. And so, when I was writing the book, I also thought about, what my career had looked like in the last 10 years, because I've actively done product management for 10 years. And then I thought about products. Every time I think of products as first the technology products that I'm building. And then I think of my career as a product as well. And so I realized a lot of people get stuck in the every day-to-day of the building products, but then forget that they should also handle their career as a product. So just the same way you want to enhance your products, you want to ensure that your product has got like the best experience for customers. But then what happens to your career? How should you treat it? And so, and so that's that's what my book is about. So it helps you, first of all, build what does it take to build a quality product that people would keep talking about. A quality product, underlining that, very important. Secondly, is that as you grow in your product career, what does it mean to lead a product team? What does it mean to lead a high performing team? Because that's been my experience. I remember that when I joined Andela, less than 1 year into joining Andela, I was promoted the entire product team, and that included the product managers and product designers. And I'm like, okay, what did they really see in me? It meant that there's some attribute that they had seen in me, and then they wanted me to be able to do that. And I did that excellently well. And, and so, and then the third part of the book now talks about your career as a product and how you should treat it. 10 years, I see there are some comments in the chat section. We'll attend to that. 10 years and imagine the Toby Otokiti, August 2050, working into product management in her first product role. And she knew nothing about products. But right now, if there's anything that somebody can wake me up from my dream and say, I need you to talk about this thing right now, I need to quickly solve this products related problem, it's going to be products management. And also because, Oremeyi said, find something that fits your personality. So I love to solve problems, even before technology problems. I remember building a library for a school. I literally went to find the problem. I would go and find the problem and then solve the problem, even when the resources were very little. So I have all of those stories written out in my book, and again, how you can grow in your career. So that book launches on the 10th of December. However, you can begin begin to pre-order the book right from today. I would post the link on the chat section. Oremeyi, I sent you the manuscript, so I'm going to put you on the spot. So do you want to share with us why you think people should purchase or pre-order the book today?
Yeah, I'll say two things. One, when someone that has done it, no, as I said, these days ChatGPT can make you anything. Anybody can Google anything and write a book. But Toby has done it. Not just I want to be a product manager. There are products that she has. She has the pedigree, she has the experience, and she has done it in, I can say, this environment. When you look at the product management books out there, the really good ones are not really our environment. There's a lot for the Silicon Valley and all, and no wahala. But because it's not always, that's not really all the factors all the factors are very different to us. I'll say Toby has the experience for our environment. She has done it not just in one company, but replicated that success. And her story tells you that replication was no small feat. It wasn't like she just woke up and said, wow, I'm an amazing product manager. She learned, she made mistakes, she stumbled, she regretted, she picked it up, she continued. So I'll say you have access to learn from someone that's actually done it, and it's not theory. I love the second major reason is I love how you entered yourself as a product. So important. And when you said that, I was like, wow, that's 2 books in one. In fact, that is 2 books in one. Because there are other books that talk of you being the element of value here, but she has merged it together. So as a product manager, and I think now, even if you're an engineer, even if you were whatever, you were a CEO or you are a finance and accountant, you as a product is still important. But as a product manager, it's very relevant, because as a product manager, sometimes you may second guess yourself. You are living in a world of very skilled people that, again, like we said at the beginning, you are the orchestra conductor. You have to conduct. These people have experience way beyond you. So knowing that you showing up is the product is very important. So weaving that together with a very wise approach. So I'll say you're getting 2 books in one. You're getting from someone that has done this in our environment. It's relevant. You will definitely learn something, not just some things, good things, practical things. It weaves it in very nicely. So those are my reasons.
All right, thank you so much, Oremeyi. So I'm watching the time.
Yes.
Okay. So so just like she said, you can, so everything is that she said, correct. Sorry, I'm trying to rush up with time because already 3 minutes the time. Yeah. And so please pre-order your books. You get to pick up your books, or maybe your book, on the 10th of December at the Dive conference that's happening at Landmark. And if you've not gotten your ticket yet, please do. I'd really love to see you. There's also going to be a book signing on that day. So
Lovely.
Receive my special signature and of course a love note from my heart to you. So as we wrap up this session, I think it might be great to just ask from the audience a question. We can take just one question from the audience. And anyone who's got a question for Oremeyi. Anyone? Questions? Or it's like we're also, enjoying the conversations and taking notes. Are there any questions for Oremeyi or myself? Okay, cool. So I'll take it as no question. What this means is that, Dunsi. All right. Just one question. Dunsi, you can please proceed.
Okay. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening.
Awesome section. In fact, I just joined the recent cohorts. So that's pivot to product management. I've never done product management. I don't know what it is. In fact, it was when I introduced the course to me. I was like, I should just try and see how it goes. And I've been so inspired. In fact, it has opened my eyes, my mind to things. I'm reading books already. But I just want to ask this question because I know somewhere along, because my background is actually accounting. All I've known is accounting, finance, all of that. So I've always wanted to do something related to tech as well. And so I believe that product management will also help me to achieve that. But I have noticed that I know that at some point I might have what we call imposter syndrome. So yes, I might feel like, oh, okay, maybe getting an internship, or okay, because my background has always been around. So now that I want to pivot into product management, I might feel like, oh, I'm not, what's the word now? I'm not as, you know, brilliant as maybe those that have already been doing product management for the longest time. I
Mm.
feel like that my script was set in at some point. So I just want to have like some points on how to eventually deal with them. I know that Oremeyi has kind of touched on that a bit, but I just want like more insights on how you handle it for past 10 years or just something really. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Oremeyi, do you want to take it? This is
So yeah,
okay.
so you mentioned that this you just get into product management. So you're saying how will I deal with imposter syndrome? Am I correct? Don't think that is summary of your question.
Yes, that's the summary of my question. Yes.
Okay. Now I will say, listen, we all have imposter syndrome. Everybody, whether it's at work or even as a mom. I remember the first time I was a mom, I couldn't change diapers. I was so confused. I was like, my gosh, I'm a bad mom. So you will always have that when you are trying something new. But you know what they say? They say when you want to try, like you being an accountant, you want to become a product manager, so much courage. Do you know you are one in a few? A lot of people will never venture out. Like you already ventured out. Good job. Good job. Now, will you feel like an imposter? You will. But I'm saying, you listen, that is a natural part of the process. It's like everybody, even when a baby is trying to walk, he falls down, he stumbles. After a while, he's looking, should I still try again? That's imposter syndrome. But the baby doesn't care. He still tries, and that's why the baby is not paralyzed. He eventually starts walking, running. We all did that. So I'm just saying it's part of the process. Don't worry. The most important thing is to keep going, and as you keep going and adding value, you will look back one day and those things that made you feel like an imposter, you see how to overcome them. But you know what? There will be another new level. There will always be new levels. Toby is here launching a book. I'm sure she has thought, oh, I should write a book. Do you want to buy? Am I sure it's a good book? But listen, put imposter syndrome in your pocket and move on, because it's going to come. It's going to always come. So don't think, keep going. Don't worry. It's part of the process. It's not only you. Let's go.
Yes,
Right.
and just to encourage you, don't sing, right? So part of the benefits that we give in the Pivot into Products Management program is that we also enroll unique organizations. However, there's a criteria that it is that you need to meet. So first, you need to attend all the classes. You need to make sure that you attempt all your worksheets, and then you submit all your workbooks. Okay. You've also got like a student success coordinator that monitors you, checks in on you, gives you tailored responses to the workbooks it is that you submitted. So if you're able to do all of that, then we would place you with organizations. Okay. And the reason why we mandate that is that when you're joining an organization, we want you to actually give value. It's not just you joining as an intern. You should actually also be joining the company from a place of, even though I don't know so much, but I still want to give value. Do you see? So that sort of gives you your first product management experience. But again, it's on you right now to make sure that you play your parts so that you qualify for the internship that happens after the program. We've placed close to 100 people in organizations. And again, we even do it for free. We don't even charge them because that experience really matters to us. Okay. So really happy to hear that you're in the Pivot to the Product Management program. And I'm rooting for you. Dust off the imposter. Yes, again, dust it off and move on with courage. And so we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much. I see that we already pre-ordering the book. I'm like, oh wow, like even me myself, I had imposter syndrome creating. I'm like, God, like it's just 10 years experience. But I've got people who've got 20 years who haven't even written books. But I'm like, even the 10 years, I have something that can help people. Even if you just 1 or 2 years experience. I think that I have two. So people don't even have one. With my 2 years, I can help someone that just has one, right? But now with my 10 years, a full decade, with all of the ups and downs, and I explain all of those things in the book as well, to the nuances in product management, the reality when you don't even have enough resources and they still expect you to cook up a full product with very minimal resources. What should you do? And so you get to learn all of that in the book. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone for joining. And Oremeyi, I love you. Thank you
Love you too.
Thank you. Thank you for being my number one, supporter, for being there 10 years after, and I still feel that passion and that fire inside you, and it will never go down. Keep going from glory to glory. So thank you so much, everyone. We've come to the end of today's session. Just a quick reminder, ProductDive conference is happening on the 10th of December at Landmark Event Center. If you are not in Lagos, you can join us virtually. Marlene, please help post the link to the conference on the chat section. And I look forward to giving us big hugs, warm hugs, celebrating us. It's going to be a celebratory day. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, Toby.
Thank you, Solomon. I see you pre-ordered. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oremeyi.
Thank you, Oremeyi. Thank you. Wow, I'm not going to see you on that day. It's been such a long time. Oh, thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you. Thank you.